Hi friends, it's Rev Ric from Unity of Royal Oak, bringing you the meditation for Wednesday, the 20th day of January 2021. And I'm going to share with you today's Daily Word with permission of Unity, the publishers of Daily Word. And then I want to talk about it a little bit because it's one of my favorite topics that is often misunderstood. The theme, the keyword is divine order. My life and my world are in divine order. If I'm feeling impatient, confused, or unsure of what my next step should be, I pause to breathe deeply and affirm divine order. Thinking and speaking these words reminds me that I am not merely hoping for a positive outcome. I am placing my faith in the orderly process of manifestation. Divine order assures me the perfect solution already exists, and my highest good is on its way. I do not worry about what the future holds. Instead, I relax in the knowledge that tomorrow is the open door for the highest blessing, which is already unfolding for good. My mind and heart are peaceful. Affirming divine order keeps me open to receiving fulfilling results, even if the outcome is not what I expect. And the scripture verse is from 1 Corinthians 14:40. It says, all things should be done decently and in order. Now, divine order is often used around Unity and New Thought to describe that everything that's going on right now is divinely ordered as if it were predestined. And that's not at all what divine order really means. Divine order, and this speaks to it, I am placing my faith in the orderly process of manifestation. Divine order is really looking at the process of manifesting, of creating something. And it begins with an idea in the mind of God. And then we have that idea, we appropriate that idea, and we begin to know and trust and believe that there is a way for our good to come to us, that the things that we want to happen in our lives can happen. And so we wrap ourselves around the idea of, and it's called mind-idea expression. So from the mind of God, an idea comes to us, and then we cloak it in energy, we cloak it in prayer. Mr. Fillmore called it substance. We cloak it in divine substance. So it's really the process. And when you catch yourself, it says, divine order assures me the perfect solution already exists. Because that's the truth. When we pray believing that it already exists. That's why we can appropriate it. It exists first in the mind of God, then an idea, and then ultimately in form. If it didn't exist in the mind of God, then it couldn't exist in our mind, the desire, the image, whatever it is, the feeling. So it's one of my favorite Daily Word readings, divine order, and it is a concept that when used properly yields rich results. And so one of the things that I am trusting the universe for is the divine order of manifesting peace in our land, peace and unity. It's been my meditation for the last many days, and it will continue to be through the end of April, which is 100 days into President Biden's administration. And I realize that he's not magic, and I know that there are people, both sides of the aisle, some happy, some sad. And I believe that we can find a way forward together, and that way exists now in the mind of God, in the very mind of God. And so we know it's there, so it can be. It's not predestined. Nothing is predestined. But if we work together for it, we can create the conditions for peace, harmony, and unity. And I love that idea of unity. And if it's going to be, it's up to us. We have to do it together. I'll do my part. I'm trusting you'll do yours. So, you know that I do a fairly basic kind of meditation, a mindfulness meditation. We do it together. It helps me, it must provide something because people attend and watch and comment, and I appreciate that. So the breath is the easiest meditation, I think, to do, just to work with the breath. And we often do that, have been doing it for a while. Sometimes I work with a mantra in my mind, and I use a four phrase mantra. God is, I am, we are one. So I breathe in, God is, and then I hold it a moment. Breathe out, I am. Breathing in, we are. Breathing out, one. God is, I am, we are one. It may seem to be a big stretch to think that you're one with God, and yet Jesus said it. He said, just as Father, just as you and I are one, and I am in you and you are in me, they are in us. All of us, they, the people, the Gentiles, the Jews, all of us. So God is cause. God is source. I am a reflection of that. God is, I am, we are one. That's true of me and God. I am made in the image and after the likeness of God, as every person, every single person. By the way, it's not just the people that think like you, look like you, walk like you, talk like you, or love like you. It's everybody. And we're all in various states of evolving, awakening to this truth, that we're all connected, that we are all one, and that we are made in the image and after the likeness of God. Because for a long time, many of us have beaten ourselves up. So that's why sometimes when I'm meditating in quiet, and I usually use music, not always, I'm often in my mind almost chanting, because meditation is focused thinking. You've heard me say in the past, I long ago heard in a lecture, misunderstood, and then asked somebody at that time, this goes back many years now, about meditating. It was like, oh, you don't think. You sit down, put on some quiet music, sit on the floor, straighten your back, lean against the wall, and don't think. Well, I tried it several days. I would sit in my house with my back straight up against the wall, just in a very comfortable spot with some music on. And then I would start to not think. Well, not thinking is thinking. And I would get so frustrated and so balled up with that. So someone introduced me to chanting. This was about 30 years ago, maybe more, 35. And so I began to chant, and I did that a long time. Friends, it's not the objective to not think. The mind can't do that. You have to give it something to do. It can be just to pay attention to the breath. So breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. That's a good basic place to start. There are then times that I also use this mantra, and I don't usually say it aloud. I will for a little bit, but you may have another mantra. If you're a TM, a Transcendental Meditation person, if you've gone through the training, then you have a mantra. You've been given one by your teacher. You can just pick a mantra, but some use the name Jesus. Some use Jesus Christ. I'm sure that there are people who use other of the names for the divine presence, which, by the way, God doesn't have a name. God is not God's name. God is a word that we assign to the source, to the creator, to the cause of all things. And we have lots of words, lots of names that point to that creator, that cause, if you will. God is cause. Everything else flows out of that, created it all. God created it all, caused it to be. So, let's come back to this idea of God is. I am. We are one. God is. I am. We are one. So you try that for a moment. You don't have to say it aloud. You can say it quietly wherever you are right now. Breathing in, God is. I am. We are one. It gives the mind a solid place to land, something to do. And a mantra, if you work with that, if it works for you, you just repeat it. Keep repeating it. It's a 4 count. God is, I am, we are one. And I sometimes do that in my mind. I usually do it in my mind. I'll do it in loud places. In lines. You can meditate anywhere. It takes a lot of practice. With your eyes wide open. That's why I usually keep my eyes open while I'm recording these. So God is, I am, we are one. So that's the mantra. Do it at your own pace in alignment with your own breathing. Should you hear any noise or your mind wanders off, and it will, it's just to bring it gently back, either to the mantra or just to the breath. And I always say this, if your mind wanders off, bring it back to your breath, notice the breath, and follow the next breath inward. And that's the beginnings of a meditation practice. There are lots of things that you can use, music. I have the Calm app on my phone. I use that at times. Find a meditative practice, and it is a practice. Martha Creek says, practice, practice, practice makes progress, not perfection. We're always getting better. We're always getting better. So take a moment now to get centered and settled wherever you're seated or lying down. Notice any tension that might exist in your body. Just notice it, just as you notice the place, just in your mind invite the tension to drain away. It's just stress, muscle stress, energy in the muscles, just invite it to drain away. And begin at your feet. And just move up. You can move up relatively quickly. You know where you might be holding stress or where you hold it in your body. Sometimes, though, we're not very aware of our bodies, where we are in space. And so I invite you just to be fully present to yourself. Fully present in this moment to yourself. Now we're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. And when I say cleansing breath, I mean to fill your lungs from the bottom to the top. Because we humans, we breathe shallow most of the time. Get a good work with the breath. I love and I'm fascinated by the fact that in ancient Hawaiian, the word for spirit and the word for breath are the same. They're the same, the breath of God. Imagine that you're breathing in the breath of God. Deep, breathe deep. And sigh it out. And the reason I say sigh it out is let yourself feel it, the physicality of it. Let that exhale be a releasing of something. So, okay, 3 deep breaths. Breathe in. Hold it. Sigh it out. 2 more. Deep breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. Deep breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. And now allow your mind and your body to just notice your breath. Just notice the rhythm of it, the cycle of it. Just let it come as it comes. It's your rhythm. No hurry. Very mindful. Now breathe in with me. God is. I am. We are. One. You can use that mantra, use your own, or just mind your breath. Pay attention to your breath. This music, by the way, was created by Rev Gregory Barrette, my former boss and friend, and it's called the Heart of Oneness, and I use it with his permission. So allow yourself to settle in for a few minutes. Let the music carry you. Let your practice of meditation center you. Allow it to make some space for the peace that passes understanding. And know that there is within you the peace that passes all understanding, because it comes from another place. I am peace. I am peace. The peace of God is expressing itself in me now. I am peace. I am that which God is, and God is that which I am. And remember, any noise that you might hear, let it simply be a reminder to turn within. For in meditation, we shift our attention from the outer world and its drama and movement. We shift inward to the presence that we call God. And I invite you to call to mind a beautiful scene, something that really inspires you, that touches you. Might be a mountain meadow, or for some it'll be a lake or a river. Allow yourself to be there, fully present with that image. Let it fill you with peace. For it contains peace. You contain peace. It's a state of consciousness. And now notice that in this sacred place for you, there are other people suddenly. Each of them just observing, being fully present to the peace that passes understanding. Fully present to the awareness that we are all connected to one another. My favorite Mother Teresa quote is, "If we have no peace, it's because we've forgotten we belong to each other." So now I invite you to imagine that we adopt in the United States of America this idea, this image, that we are united. We don't always agree, that's to be given, but we can be united for the common good. I invite you to hold that image with me, hold that energy with me, that thought, however it shows up for you. Hold that thought. Of the united for the common good country. Notice how you feel when we are living united for the common good. Notice it. And as any competing image might try to push its way in, yeah, but this or that thing or this idea, know that there's a way that we move forward together. There is a way. It has to start with the belief that there is a way. And there is an obvious way because we're all here together, all united in God. We couldn't have the notion, the idea, if it weren't possible. So we let go of our judgments and our notions we think we know about somebody else. What we know about is ourselves. And I know that right now in my world all is well. In this moment with you, all is well. God is, I am, we are one. This is the truth. And knowing the truth sets us free. Free from our stories and our thoughts and the voices in our heads. I am very grateful for this time to spend together. Grateful for you. Grateful for these spiritual laws that are at work all the time. We don't have to agree or not. You don't have to think about gravity. If you drops something, it hits the floor or hits the ground. You can use these spiritual laws to create your life filled with peace and awareness of God's presence, however you understand that divine presence. With prosperity and abundance, because they exist in the mind of God, and so mind idea expression, you can take that idea and work with it and use the power of your imagination and the power of love and the power of your spoken word, being careful what you talk about, how you say it, how you think. If you're dealing with a health challenge, know that healing is a journey. And healing is always possible. If you're interested in cure, that sometimes comes, but healing is always possible. And right now, let us commit ourselves to hold a sacred space for our beloved country. See us beyond this pandemic, peaceful, productive, prosperous, celebrating our amazing diversity and including everyone. And we're grateful for the many ways that people are involved here with us. Our Sunday experience streamed. We have a special one coming up on the 31st of this month, January the 31st. Reverend Charlene Manuel, a phenomenal speaker that I've had the opportunity to get to know a little bit. She's a 25 plus year Unity minister. She is an amazing woman. She wrote a book called Of One Accord, or In One Accord rather. She's on the board of Unity World Headquarters at Unity Village. She's going to be our guest speaker on the 31st as we celebrate 90 years of prayer and service. During 2020, from February the 20th of 2020 was the date of our 90th anniversary, and we had some things planned last year, a prayer breakfast among them, and Reverend Charlene was going to be our speaker. The COVID pandemic pushed all those things aside, like it has pushed so many things aside. But through the power of virtual service, Charlene is going to be our keynote speaker, our speaker on Sunday, January 31st, as we celebrate 90 years of prayer and service. Join us at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on YouTube or Facebook, or any time after that with the archives. If you want to know, we've got a lot of stuff going on. If you go to our website at unityofroyaloak.org, you can do many things there. There's a list of, if you look on the classes page, there's many events listed there. If you look at our calendar, you'll see events. Try to put them in more than one place. But if you right on the front page, there's a rotating series of images. If during the time, so there are images that promote events. If you just click on the image, when it's time for the event, you'll be taken to where it's happening. Maybe you didn't know that. I want you to know that. And another thing you can do on our website is make a financial contribution if you choose. There's a button labeled donate. Just click there and we process PayPal and Tidely. We appreciate you. And whatever you're doing right now as you listen, know that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Namaste.